It was very early in the morning, the streets clean and deserted. I was on my way to the station. As I compared the tower clock with my watch, I realized it was much later than I had thought and that I had to hurry. The shock of this discovery made me feel uncertain of the way. I wasn't very well acquainted with the town as yet. Fortunately, there was a policeman at hand. I ran to him and breathlessly asked him the way. He smiled and said, "You asking me the way?" "Yes," I said, "since I can't find it myself." "Give it up! Give it up!" said he, and turned with a sudden jerk, like someone who wants to be alone with his laughter. Kind of early in the morning for Kafka, huh? That parable came to mind this past Thursday while the lectionary lunch was grappling with this parable from Luke's Gospel. Give it up. We were lost. It was hard to come to any clear understanding or interpretation of what in the world Jesus was getting at telling this parable. And here's the other thing. We use this thing called the Funky Bible. It's by Dr. Funk in the Jesus Seminar that puts the sayings of Jesus either in black, gray, pink, or red. Very little red in the New Testament. Except for this one. This one meant that more than likely it came straight from Jesus. So what in the world's going on? And we were flummoxed, just like Luke was too. Let me give you some pointers on this. It's going to be a little scripture lesson this morning. You get down to verse 7a, and that's where the parable ends. And unfortunately, it doesn't have it marked in your reading, so I'll point it out to you. His master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. Period. That's the end of the parable. Now we get to Luke being flummoxed. And look at him. He gives about 4 different interpretations here of what could be going on with this parable. The children of this age are more shrewd in dealing with their own generation than we righteous people. Well, I'll tell you what, make friends with other people with your dishonest wealth, so when it's gone, they'll welcome you into eternal homes. That doesn't make, that makes about as much sense as a parable. Well, whoever's faithful in a little is also faithful in much. Whoever's dishonest in little is dishonest in much. How about that one? Don't see where that fits either. All right, okay. If you've not been faithful with your dishonest wealth, who's going to trust you with the real stuff? Well, I don't know about that one either. So he falls back to the good old punting position of, well, you can't serve God and wealth. So there. Thing is, what is Jesus talking about in this parable? And I think we Christians, especially when we start piling degrees on ourselves in religious studies, we like to overthink these things to death. And like Luke did this. Jesus was just saying, when you're out there in the world, be wise, be shrewd. Could that be it? See, here's the mark of a really good parable. Most powerful spiritual people I have known, spiritual teachers, they shared a common feature. They never gave answers. If anything, they gave questions. That caused me to explore, what does that mean? What does that mean for me? And what does that mean for me relating with other people? What does that mean for me out in the world? And the most dangerous people who claim to be spiritual teachers are the ones who say, got the answer. More than likely, they're simply out to manipulate me. And they want me to think they've got the answer. Oh, that's somebody to follow. I can sit back and take it easy. I don't have to do that exploration. it's been done for me. But God comes to each and every one of us in a unique way. And the only thing I can give you this morning is the way this parable hits me this morning. Because that's another thing about a good parable. The next time I read it, I might go, oh, didn't think about that. So for me, I read this and I think, okay, be shrewd. If I'm going to be shrewd, then I have to be aware. If I'm going to be aware, then I have to be awake. If I'm going to be awake, then I have to be present. Present to myself, present to God, and present to others around me. So that's the way I approach this parable. What kind of questions does it raise for you?